Okay, welcome to week 4 of the 2020 WebCenter Olympics. Over the past couple weeks, we've really been focused on getting prepared, getting organized, setting goals, writing out your candidate list, doing some current research, and scheduling some consultation appointments. And we're now at the step where we're going to talk about booking qualified appointments with a product specialist. And the entire session tonight is going to go over that consultation appointment and then how to conduct the best appointment with the product specialist. So we want to make sure that we've got ourselves organized, we've got the right mindset, and we're really going to talk about communication skills to really improve our ratio of success. So what we do want to do is just remind ourselves that it is all about building relationships, right? We're really listening for people that have a need, and then we're sharing a story or a testimonial or some information, and then we're recommending product or service, or ultimately what we're trying to do is solve their problem. And the way to do that with Web Solutions is by setting an appointment with a product specialist. So when we're talking to people, we're meeting people, we're having conversations, and we're in our consultation appointments, we want to make sure that we are interested, right? You gain trust when you listen to people. And the more you get them talking, the more opportunities you actually give yourself to identify more needs, right? Potential opportunities, right? So the idea is that people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And the way that you can build that trust and build that credibility and build that rapport is by asking questions and listening to them and allowing them to be the people that speak. So we have to kind of step back and take a look at ourselves and say, am I someone who's interesting? Right? Am I the one who's usually talking in a meeting? Am I the one that's telling people information, presenting, selling, lecturing, talking about yourself, or being very forward and direct? Or am I someone who's interested? And am I someone who's listening? Am I asking questions, right? Really diving deeper into their concerns and really being a good communicator by asking questions and listening to the response. Are we talking about the prospect, the candidate, the person who's on the other side of the table? And are we implementing the art of listening? And that's an acronym, right? So acknowledging, rephrasing, and then adding a thoughtful comment. Are we doing that? And I want you to think to yourself, every time that you have a communication with someone, I want you to kind of gauge yourself and do a little takeaway and say, what am I doing well and where can I improve? Am I interesting or am I interested? Am I doing some of these things, right? Who's talking more? Who's the one who's saying more sentences? Is it the candidate or is it myself? Because you really want to focus on allowing other people to speak and to be heard. So when we implement the art of listening, we really want to acknowledge that we heard them. So let me just make sure that I understood what I hear you saying. I heard you say that you have been so busy operating your business and meeting with clients that you haven't had the opportunity to actually be on your social media channel to really promote, market yourself, or even engage with the channel. I found other self-employed individuals who have that same challenge because there's only so many hours in the day and they're really focused on the revenue generating side of their business, but they're lacking on the side of engaging with their clients. Am I hearing that correct? And then allow them to speak, right? So you're basically going to acknowledge that you heard them, and then you're going to rephrase what they told you, and then add a thoughtful comment to ensure the conversation goes on, and then ask a question, right? Is that correct? Can you clarify? Did you mean anything else by that? And when you implement that, what it does is it lets the person on the other side of this conversation know that they've been heard. It validates that you're listening, and it really lets them know that you are someone who's has a valued interest in that relationship, right? So which one do you think you are, right? Do you think you're interested or interesting? But oddly enough, in reality, the interested person is really the interesting person. You see, when you can start building relationships and have that perceived value where people want to be near you, they're attracted to you because you make them feel special, that you really genuinely care about them, what happens is that you become a person of value to them. They will be reaching out to you, referring you business because you have kind of deposited something worthwhile into their lives or their business. So where can we get some of these questions? A lot of people say, I don't know what questions to ask. Well, again, we've got them in the assessment sheets, right? So in your 15-minute consultations, you're going to be boosting up the quality of those appointments if you follow these questionnaires, right? So the assessment sheets provide some talking points or some questions, but they're going to lead to higher quality appointments because they're going to allow you to build that relationship deeper with more information that you can gather, and that's going to help increase that likelihood of a great appointment. So again, you can find these at unfranchise.com under support materials. You can find them at mawc411.com. And you can also, in certain markets, purchase them from the company. So we've got the website design and management assessment. We have the digital and social media marketing assessment. We also have the business spending assessment. So you want to make sure that you have these tools available because they're going to be really the fuel that drives this consultation into a demonstration appointment. So what are some other tips? Well, don't just say, I'm gonna remember all the answers in the conversation and I'll think about it after and I'll do a debrief or I'll take some notes on a little piece of paper. No, use these sheets and write down all of the responses because you're not going to remember everything. But the beautiful thing about these is as things come up that you're jotting down, it might trigger you to do further research, right? They might bring something up that you hadn't determined or uncovered in your research thus far, but you found that it's a very important point for them. They might be going into a whole new direction with their business, maybe adding in a whole new service, maybe a whole new geography, whole new demographic, a new product launch, something that comes up that you had no other way to know other than meeting with them or having a conversation with them. So make sure that you're writing everything down. It's critical to your success. Now, at this point, as you're gathering information, don't discuss solutions. Don't start providing information about digital marketing and websites. Just listen. Just listen and continue to ask questions and let them talk. Use this as an opportunity to also identify other decision makers. They could be influencers, could be a colleague, could be another person in the office. It could be a spouse or a significant other. It could be one of their children that's in college right now. You don't know who the other people who are going to influence the buying decision. So you can ask these questions in your consultation. You know, who else do you respect that would be interested in learning more about digital marketing for the business? Or is there anyone that you would really prefer to have that conversation with that might be a little bit more in tune to the inner workings of the business? Maybe a manager, maybe the bookkeeper, maybe the attorney, who knows, right? But the idea is that there are more people that influence the buying decision than just the business owner, right? But use this as a way to really get them excited to discover the potential solutions by offloading that and really edifying our product specialists. And when you do that, it's going to kind of delegate any of those objections or challenges and deflect them away from you because right now you're just the consultant, you're asking questions, but the people who have all the information that can answer those questions are our product specialists, right? So it always comes down to that relationship, right? You're not pitching or selling. You want to ask questions about them, and that really is building rapport. You know, we've all heard the quote that says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So people will be attracted when you show that you care, you're excited, and that you're genuinely interested in their business, because ultimately people buy you, right? People buy you. They buy that relationship, that trust, right? That credibility. That solid relationship stands more than an actual product or the service. Now, fortunately, we can back it up with a great product and great service, but also with your relationship. So all we're doing is simply closing them or scheduling the next appointment with product support, right? So really, it's a successful meeting if a follow-up is booked, right? The fortune is in the follow-up. So have your schedule available and know when you have time to follow up, but also know when the product specialists are available. And you can do that by logging into your sales calendar on your WebCenter or by going to m.mawebcenters.com and look at it from your mobile device and identify when there are DMP product demos available, as well as when there are website demo appointments available. See, if you go into your appointments knowing this, then you can help better schedule the appointment on the spot, rather than saying, oh, well, let me go check our calendar, or let me get back to you, or when there's a couple times that might work for you. No, if you have it available, you're most likely to book it then while their excitement is the highest, right? Schedule that appointment with a product specialist to address their needs. And honestly, you don't need to answer any questions. What's the cost? What's the range? What's the time frame, right? Just let them know that you will schedule an appointment with a website specialist who will answer all their questions and give them a proposal based on what they need. You're not really qualified to give that information because you don't really know all the inner workings of what they need and what needs to be done from the technical side, right? And then lastly, whether an appointment is booked or not, or if it's just a follow-up that gets pushed out for another month or 2 months, send a heartfelt communication, right? A text message, an email, or even a handwritten note, right? Provide them referrals. I would say that that's probably one of the most important things that you can do. When you meet with a candidate and you've had that first meeting with them, and then you've had a consultation with them, either on the phone, face-to-face, or a video chat, if you can provide that business owner a referral within the next 7 to 10 days, you have just increased your value to them tenfold, right? If you can identify some other people that want or need their product or service and provide that referral, now it solidifies in that relationship that you truly care about them and that you're a person of your word. You said that you want to network with them and potentially find business for them and vice versa, and now you're acting on that. That would be a WebCenter pro tip right there, and it's any area of your business really. So you're just continuing to build that relationship. We find that people that do these little things, they turn out to be the big things because these are the people that get referrals. These are the people that have long time relationship with their clients, and their clients trust them when they have other advertising and marketing decisions to make. They're calling the WebCenter owner that they trust and that they respect for their opinion. And I hear it all the time. So your job is to simply edify the product specialist, right? It's as simple as just making that strong referral. Okay, it takes the pressure off of you to answer any of the questions, and it puts weight in the referral by saying that you work with a great company and the specialist is the one who specializes in that area, whether it's social media, SEO, website design and development. Okay, and you're offering a solution to that problem, which is just to meet a specialist that can answer their questions. Now, what you say depends on what you've learned during your conversations and your consultations, right? So you're using that information to build a strong reason to meet with the product specialist. And what do we mean by that? We simply mean that you want to leverage the information that you have gathered up to this point, especially the information that they have personally shared with you, to help close that appointment and increase the value. In fact, that's what's going to qualify the appointment. You might say something like, Joe, I'm really excited about getting you on the phone with a website specialist. They're going to be able to show you ways that you can take control of your website to help managing it a lot easier so that you don't have to wait for your website designer anytime that you need a change. We'll show you how you can have control of that, and you're going to be amazed, right? Now you've addressed their concern. Right? Let's say the concern was social media. You can say, I can't wait to get you on the phone with our social media expert. They specialize in helping restaurants actually leverage social media during their busy day and making sure that they get the events out and engaging with their clients and customers. A lot of restaurants find that they have the post to push out, but they don't have the time to like and engage and comment with the people that they have on their social media channels. So they'll talk to that specifically. Right? And you can put all of this information in the notes when you book the appointment with the specialist. So ultimately, we're just looking for the best appointments, right? So it all starts with our research, right? The prospect or candidate research that you started with. If you know a little bit about your candidate in advance, it can lead to a better conversation, better discovery. Now, when you have that consultation appointment, you don't want to just kind of sit down and spew all over them all the research that you did and how you looked at their website and it's terrible and you couldn't find them on Google and they've got negative reviews and haven't posted on social media since 2018, and why every time you click on a button it's not mobile friendly, right? You can gather that information, but then when you sit with them in a consultation, you want to ask assumptive lined questions. So you can use that content that you gathered as a way to create great discovery questions. Hey, just curious, how active are you on social media? We're a little bit active. When would be the last time that you said that you had posted? And they're going to share that information. Or, when's the last time that you updated your website? Do you have current events on there? Is there a place for you to get on there? They're going to share that information. I realize that Google is so competitive right now. How do you rank on Google? And let them, they might know, they might not know, they might pull out their phone and search it right there. But the idea is that you want them to come to the conclusion of which you already have, but don't make assumptions, let them tell you, right? There might be a certain reason for something. Okay. Oh, that's our old Facebook page and we kind of got rid of it. We have a different one. Well, whatever it is, right? So you're not going to know that information until you sit with them. Okay. So the candidate research that you do prior to even contacting them is just a couple minutes to get an overview of where they're at, right? Once you have a consultation scheduled, 10, 15, 20 minutes, either by phone or face to face or over a video chat, whatever it means, you can then invest a little bit more time to do a little bit more research so that you can be better prepared. Then when you do your consultation with them, you're going to gather even more information, right? It's all about asking great questions, right? So in that consultation, it's going to help qualify your appointment further and helps confirm all the decision makers, right? So you're going to do this prior to your demo appointments, or if they're not ready to commit to an appointment. Okay, use the assessment sheets, right? All the support materials are there for you. And you can use these consultation appointments to solidify an appointment and then enter these appointment notes in the sales calendar, right? That way the sales support actually knows what are the hot buttons from these conversations. Now you can also use these 15-minute consultations as a way to confirm your appointment, right? So you might have a website demonstration appointment and you have an email that is automatically generated in a text message 24 hours prior. Now you should also call them to confirm, but I would not confirm by saying, hey, are we still on for tomorrow at 10? Or are you still okay? Or, do you still have an opening in your schedule? You don't want to leave it to chance that they can say, no, not available, let's reschedule, I'm not interested, and cancel the appointment. The best way to confirm an appointment is with passion and enthusiasm and excitement and to revisit why they booked the appointment in the first place. You know, Joe, I was just talking to our website specialist and they're really excited about showing you a demonstration that they put together for you in our appointment, but they had a couple questions that I wanted to ask you so they could tailor it more to your needs. Do you have a couple minutes to answer a couple questions? Now that person on the other side of the phone is saying, wow, they're actually taking time to customize this to my concerns and my needs, and it's worth my time and their time. So what's happening is you're further qualifying as you confirm the appointment, right? So again, it all comes down to qualified appointments will increase the sales price as well as the likelihood that they'll actually sell, as well as the amount of referrals you'll get, right? So let's take a look at qualified appointments. What are some different categories? Well, what about decision makers, right? What about business owner? Certainly you want to talk to the business owner, but also who else is responsible for the decision or influences the decision? Partners, maybe marketing teams, their staff, other people with input or insight. Again, anyone that might influence. Now, what about budget? A lot of people say, well, I have a hard time finding out their budget. Maybe I don't feel comfortable asking them, what is your online marketing budget, or how much would you budget for your website, right? Now it starts sounding more salesy. However, you can ask questions that can help you make assumptions or do a little more research to identify their budget. Right? Are you advertising anywhere else? Do you advertise in the local newspaper? Are you advertising on any other print media or yellow pages? Do you do any other online advertising? Are you doing any Google advertising programs? Are you doing any new sign projects? What are you doing for marketing outside of, XYZ? Besides your business card and word of mouth, how are you getting business? Those questions that we've talked about over the past couple of weeks also can help you determine if they've got an advertising or marketing budget. If they're spending money on radio, or if they're spending money on media like TV, or if they're spending money on display ads online, or they're doing any streaming ads on other streaming services online, or if they're doing any billboard advertising or newspaper advertising, they've got money. They've got money that they're investing into their marketing. Okay. Now, do they have an existing website? Do they have an online presence? That's all information that's going to help you determine their budget, right? Now, how can you then take it a step further? If you have the time and they say, I'm advertising in the local newspaper, you can say, great, that's a great way to get some visibility on the local level. We realize that bigger brands are buying the bigger media on the bigger news outlets, but right now in your local community, have you found that been effective? Has it been effective? Are you doing any coupon magazines, any mailers, any Valpak types of mailers, right? And then what you can do is then go to those websites or contact those companies as a business owner, because you are a business owner, and inquire what their advertising rates are. Hey, if I wanted to get in on the next newspaper and I wanted to do a quarter-page ad on every Sunday, how much would it cost me for the next month? If I were to purchase these 3 zip codes in a direct mail, from the post office, how much would it cost me, right? And you can gather that information. Hey, if I wanted my face on a billboard in town, how much does it cost, right? Use the information that you've gotten to then do further research, because you will know your market better than anyone, right? Because the demographics and the market and the advertising cost is going to be very different from London to Toronto, Canada, to LA, to New York City, to Poughkeepsie, New York, or Columbus, Ohio, or Epping, New Hampshire, right? All of those areas have a different market. And of course, your sales support doesn't know every single market. So if you can identify this, it's going to put a huge win in your column because you can better price your services. Okay. Now, what about their interest level? Is there a need and can we fill it? Are there hot buttons? Are there pain points? Is there a potential fit? And is there a sense of urgency, right? So talking about timing. Are they motivated now? Are they looking to take action now? And you'll know that in your consultation. Are they researching stage? They just kind of get some numbers together, or we're looking at evaluating our marketing, or that's a great point, we're not really sure yet, right? That's going to come from tone as well in your meeting, right? Do they have a tight time schedule? Look, I need to get something done. I'm very busy. I've got some big projects, or I've got a trade show coming up and I really want to get things going, right? That is going to show you that there's a sense of urgency, and it's going to be very important to keep your appointments short but impactful, and have those follow-up times being within 24 hours to keep the process moving, right? Now, what about clarity? Do you have a strong answer to what do you do and what is it? And a great way to communicate that we are an all-inclusive digital marketing solution that helps businesses increase revenue, decrease expenses, and increase customer engagement, right? Can you say that? Do you have posture, right? Are you edifying the product specialist in a postured manner? You are so fortunate that we were able to get our top SEO expert on our appointment on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to it, right? It all comes down to posture, and you might have to practice. And I highly recommend that all of you on the line find an accountability partner or someone that you can connect with and role play, practice, do some video chats, do some calling so that you can beef up your posture, because that's going to make a big difference, right? And what about confirmation? We talked about it. Confirming attendance with all decision makers, and is the time, the date, the time zone. You want to make sure all of that is settled to make sure that when you book the appointment, it is the best chance for not only sales support, but you and your client. Write down any questions in advance, have them do the same thing so that everyone is prepared going into the appointment. So here's a quick checklist for confirming appointments. One is you need the time and the date of the appointment. You need the attendance by all decision makers. You need to exchange the best contact phone numbers, right? If they have a landline, right, and it's their only line for their business, you might want to ask if there's a second line or a cell phone that you conduct the appointment on, because you don't want to disrupt business, right? What about confirming your prospect will be able to be on the computer at the same time while they're on the phone, right? You want to make sure that you have that conversation up front so that you don't have them on the road on their phone trying to get a sales demonstration appointment about a website, and they've got to try and look at it on their phone. It's not going to be a good use of your time, right? Encourage the client or potential client to write down all their questions that they may have for a product specialist, as well as price, as well as timing, as well as any other questions that have come up. Tell them to jot it down. Great question. We'll make sure that we ask them on our appointment, right? And it really is the best way to just deflect or delegate and offload those types of challenges or objections, right? So simply, once you've got the confirmation and the commitment, you're going to go into your WebCenter, and right at the top it says schedule sales appointment, or you click on WebCenter and then you'll find a link that says schedule sales appointment. It's a very easy wizard. It just asks you to put in the contact information if they're not already in your database. It asks them if they have an existing website in the database or not, if you want to create a basic template for them to start for the demo. It asks for any additional attendees and phone numbers, and then you just check off all of those confirmation points. And then most importantly, there's a little comments box where you can type in what you found in your research as well as your consultation. Now, I'm going to urge you to use quick bullet points or little phrases rather than paragraph text, because these product specialists are going to get on and only have a limited amount of time to look through those notes, and you want to make it very easy for them. Now, if you require more time, I would call into sales support and find out who is going to be doing that demonstration appointment for you, and see if you can schedule an email or a phone call ahead of time to make sure that you can have an overview with the person who's going to be running your call. They'll appreciate it and you will as well, but only use that if necessary, because the comment feature and the pre-call is usually sufficient, right? So what's going to happen is once you have that appointment, 5 to 10 minutes beforehand or right up to when your appointment's going to start, if they're running behind from another appointment, they're going to call you first. They're going to give you an opportunity to talk to them about what you've learned so far and some hot buttons, what to really stress and focus in your appointment. They are then going to three-way conference in your client, and your job is to introduce the product specialist. So it's going to ring, they're going to answer, and you get to say, "Hey, Joe, it's Jason. I'm so happy that we had the time to be able to talk you through some of the website questions that you had. We're so fortunate because we have our top website specialist on the line today, was able to coordinate their schedule. And I'm so happy because they're going to be able to answer all your questions way better than I. And I'm just going to mute myself out and introduce them here. Here they go." And you do the handoff, you mute your phone, and you listen and you learn. Your job is not to interrupt the appointment, is not to talk to the client, and is not to talk to the sales support while they're trying to run an appointment. They're working for you. Now, if you want to chat with them, it's going to be through a go-to-meeting type of scenario where you can actually use the chat feature. Just be sure that when you're chatting with sales support, you're chatting not to everyone, you're chatting just to sales support or the product specialist on the line. If you hit reply all or chat to everyone, that means that your candidate or client is actually reading the chat box as well, and that can be embarrassing. If you feel like that might be something that concerns you, then don't use the chat feature, right? Better safe than sorry. But your job really is to listen and learn as you go through this process, right? So another couple things to remind ourselves about using sales support. What we can expect them to do is conduct a thorough, customized presentation for your candidate with an online demo. They're going to ask data mining questions to determine the most important features to cover. Now, they might already know that from your conversation with them and the notes, but they're going to ask and inquire that because, again, they're looking to get some permission and get the candidate to actually tell them what they need so then they can provide that solution. So it all comes down to knowing a little bit of information to know what questions to ask, right? They're going to build rapport, they're going to negotiate the price, and they will also follow up with your candidate until they purchase or request to be removed from the list, as well as follow up with you to let you know what's going on in that process, and they're going to work to close that sale. What we don't want to expect them to, we want to make sure that we clearly communicate this to our candidates, is that the sales support or product specialists are not going to travel to your candidate's site and present the platform in person, right? We've had instances where people thought that people were coming to a physical meeting. Let them know it's an online meeting, right? Don't expect them to design the site for your client. That's not their job. If the client needs a site design, they will use a design package or use tech support, right? Sales support is not to provide technical support for your client, right? We've got a customer care line for that. Don't expect our sales team to be available 24/7. They're human beings that work a normal schedule just like everyone. However, we are open 24/7. It doesn't mean that they work 24/7, right? So just make sure that you have that clear in your mind so you know what to expect. So everything we do comes down to tracking activity and measuring so that we can make improvements. So are you keeping track of the people that you're contacting? Are you keeping track whether they are a customer, a candidate, a client, a potential UFO prospect? What types of appointments? Are they consults? Are they networking events? Are they demonstration appointments, right? Who are you adding to your list? Who are the new prospects? Who are the new candidates? And then what appointments are you conducting and when are the follow-ups, right? You need to stay really organized because as this goes forward, you're going to have more people to follow up with as new candidates enter your pipeline, and then you're going to be doing new consultations and new research, and that's why you want to just start kind of doing a little bit every single day in each of these categories. So let's take a look at some of our announcements for the week. Again, all sessions are recorded and emailed. I hope that you've been receiving them. If not, make sure that you get in touch with us. Just email us, mawebcenters@marketingamerica.com. Report and share your activity on the WebCenter Owner Support Facebook group, right? We'd love to hear how it's going out there. New appointments, new consultations, new demo appointments, anytime you have a sale. And if you have any challenges, you can ask questions there as well. Now, in regards to the contest, we are tracking all sales activity and sales data through the back end so that we can verify that for your points for the WebCenter challenge. Now, if you've personally sponsored a new unfranchised owner, you need to make sure you let us know so we can give you those points. MAWebCenters@marketamerica.com. Now, if you've added a WebCenter owner to your team, you get points for that as well. So if it's a WebCenter owner, a WebCenter Pro partner, or a WebCenter Pro affiliate, make sure you let us know as well so we can validate that and give you your points. MAWebCenters@marketamerica.com. Now, if you personally sponsor a new WebCenter owner with a Fast Start Kit, maybe a new WebCenter Pro affiliate, or a new WebCenter Pro partner, you will get points for both the personally sponsored as well as the WebCenter owner in your team. So you get to double dip there. Now, make sure that you know the WebCenter Pro partner is only available in the United States for now. And in regards to your MPCP, a WebCenter Pro affiliate does not count towards activation or sponsorship. However, for challenges and recognition, they do. We wanted to make sure that we gave you points for that as well. But just know, when it comes down to rules, policies, and procedures, you can check your Unfranchised Manual, Chapter 20, with the Internet Policy and WebCenter Rules. The WebCenter Pro affiliates do not count towards activation or sponsorship. However, your WebCenter Pro partners do. Just something to clarify. If you have questions, certainly reach out to us at mawebcenters@marketamerica.com. Okay, here is your challenge for the week. Focus on the weekly exercises and schedule 5 initial consultation appointments. Close 3 of them into a demo with product specialist. I will tell you right now, if you're reaching out to 2 to 3 new candidates each and every day, you should be able to schedule 5 consultation appointments, maybe 1 per day in your calendar. From that 10 to 15 minute consultation appointment, you will be able to book 3 of them into a demonstration with a product specialist. And we know with that activity, you are very likely to sell 1 website, 1 design package, and 1 digital marketing product each and every week, not month, each and every week with this type of activity. It doesn't take a lot, but it takes consistency, it takes the right attitude, it takes the right activity, and it will develop skill for you. Again, so your goal is to reach out 3 to 5 candidates per day, to schedule 1 consultation per day, and through that activity, as you follow up, you'll have at least 3 of them scheduled into a demo appointment with product specialists. So we want to make sure that you share all of your exciting news. Stay tuned for future weeks of the WebCenter Olympics. We're going to be focusing more and more on following up and really how to turn this into an incredible income stream for you.